Nothing evokes the spirit of Halloween more than a graveyard. So I'm going to show you here. Here's the sketching. I sketch out some tombstones and I kind of throw some trees in there. Now I'm working on an iPad, so I'm working in layers. And this is through Procreate, the app. And so I'll draw each one of the layers and then I'll start to delete the layers, or not delete them, I'll turn them off so that I can actually work on the details. And in this particular one, I'm working on the first layer, the front layer, which is going to have the darkest and most detailed area, because each one of these areas is going to have a little bit more of a recessed feeling. And in order to do that, you got to get lighter and lighter and lighter as it goes back, so it looks like it's in a misty fog in the cemetery. So I add as much detail as I can to the front. And you'll notice, and this is sped up, of course, but I'm drawing some detailed into the grass, into the tombstones. I'm putting a little bit of highlighting on the tombstones, but I want to get most of the feel that this texture is coarse and has some detail to it. And then I close out the first layer, go to the second layer, and I start doing the same thing. And as you notice, I'm just filling in blankly here because I'll add even more as I go along. But I want to get the feel of the tree. So the tree has those reaching out branches. Throw a couple other tombstones in, some more detail in the trunk and the branches. Layer of grass. Make sure that the grass goes down below the front layer that I've just closed out for a second. So then I put all the detail in this second layer. And doing the same thing, but if you notice, I'm using a little bit wider of a brush stroke than the front one, because the front one, it's got to look like it's closer to you, so it has these real intense detail. This one, I'm just kind of giving it some detail, but I know I've got 3 or 4 more layers behind it, so I'm giving it almost like it's the front layer, but I will soften this up as we close this layer and move to the other one. But the key point of this is obviously give it that realistic feel, so the light is shining on things and get shadows. So I look at those 2 layers and I go to the third layer. I do the same thing with the tree. And if you notice, I'm dark up in the top and then I get light as it goes down to the bottom. There's a reason for that, because most things in the distance, if you look at it, especially on a hazy night, it's really looks darker because the light behind it gets lighter. And I start throwing some kind of got some framing to it. And I build all this together just for the very purpose of seeing what it would look like. And then I start lightening up some of the layers a little bit here and there, changing its opacity. And then for the most part, this is what the graveyard will look like. And that kind of gives you a feeling. I look at it and I go, well, I gained something in the left back here. There's way too much opening in there. So I think what I want to do is I want to go in and put another tree in the background left. I have to pick one of the layers. And I think I'm going to go to like layer number 3, possibly layer number 4 back there, and add another tree, because right now I'm just adding all the detail to the foreground. It does look good. So if you notice on the tombstones, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm actually highlighting and putting lights on it. There's that other layer, and I'm going to go back to that and put another tree. That way it fills. There we go. And then I'll come back and add the final details. And I start etching in a little bit more just so that it feels like these tombstones up front might have some light across them. And that gives it the feeling that you just kind of see on a Halloween scene in a graveyard. That's a rapid sketch. Get a hold of me. Leave me some questions below in the comments, and I'll see if I can answer them to you. But get a hold of me if you want to learn more about this type of sketching and other type of drawing. Thanks for watching.